Hey everyone, so this is going to be a little bit more of a personal video. It's not going to be much about education actually. It's going to be more like transparent. I'm going to be open to you guys like with my finances and stuff. And some of you think like I'm super rich, which is like no. I'm not pulling in millions of dollars. That to me like isn't that weird in my brain? Pretty much if you're making more than $400,000, that's like rich in my brain. And to be honest, I'm getting closer to there. But that's the 1%. And that's like what rich is in my brain. $400,000 a year, you're rich. $100,000 is a different story. So I'm gonna go into this right now. So the average personal income, I didn't wanna make this educational, but I'll do it for 1 second. I've mentioned this before, in the United States it's $31,000. Personal income, average US working adult makes that. It is a giant misconception that the average working adult makes, the $48,000 to $50,000. This is the average household income, much different. This is accounting for husband and wife, family, whatever, under one household. That's the household income, this is personal income. They are two very different things. Oh shit, and I dropped the marker cap. Let's keep going. So, I want to be transparent with you guys. So I'm projected to make, if I make somewhere between 10 and 20 grand from YouTube. People don't realize that YouTube can be a moneymaker. YouTube, that'll probably bring in that amount somewhere around there this year. If you account for things like stocks, which I've been doing pretty well in recently, if you account for things like my online programs, which is doing pretty well recently, and real estate, which is doing pretty well recently, I'm probably projected to make somewhere, I think I did the math and it was saying over 100 grand, but I'm just gonna be a little more conservative than my projections right now. So 80 to 100 grand, okay? I remember going over the math and I was like, shit. It's kind of weird because I'm not like a social media influencer person. Like I'm not an Instagram model. I'm not a freaking Twitter person that promotes shit or funny stuff. I'm not some vlogger that goes around like, I'm just like someone who I've been through the rings of business and I'm just sharing that with you guys. So this is kind of for like online stuff, YouTube, real estate, all this. Realistically, I think that I've had a good start to the year and a good few weeks to end 2016. Realistically, I'm probably going to end up around 60K. That is if I don't grow my business, which I plan on doing. So my actual goal is to be around $100,000 this year. That's what I want. Now, my accountant, my tax person, he said, be prepared to pay the very highest amount of tax you can. Based on how things are going. He said pretty much what he's projecting for me is somewhere around $75,000 a year. And he was trying to be a little bit conservative, which is kind of fucking freaking me out, by the way. I'm gonna share some stuff with you guys because I'm trying to be transparent. It's kind of weird to think about that. But so I was making $30 an hour when I was 18 years old at a corporate job, and then I went to university and still had that job. I was doing 2 full-time things and had a girlfriend. I was very busy. So I was pulling in good money. I'm just gonna do the math in my head here. I didn't do the classic 40 hours a week. Some weeks I would do 50, some weeks I would do 10. It would just completely depend on the week. So, but just doing the math in my head, if I were to just do that full-time 40 hours, that would be what? $1,200 a week, that'd be like 60 grand, right? 55 to 60 grand a year if I were to do that full time. Now, I gave up that job. I thought that was a lot of money. I did think that was a lot of money. And then all this shit started happening. I started working harder and being an entrepreneur and I've mentioned this before, I probably started 15 to 20 business ventures and 5 have worked out. I have 7 streams of income, I think. I'm around 7 right now. 7 ones that pay me over $100 a month. Ones that are more negligible than a t-shirt shop that I opened 4 years ago that pays me $5 a month, right? So this is kind of my goal right now. This is the magic number. Now, this number, in Canada, I probably have to pay like almost 50% tax, which is kind of shitty. But if you account for all my expenses and stuff, I'm probably going to pay around 40% tax. Now, this is my goal. That's just my financial goals, actually. So I know I said financial goals, but here's some things I want to do this year. So I want to get into my real estate stuff. Like, I'm going to just generically just increase real estate business, right? I've been doing that for years already. So like, who gives, like, that's, it's going to grow. Real estate, I'm writing a book. And to be honest, I kind of just want to sell it for cheap or give it away. I'm probably going to sell it for cheap for like $7 to $9 and give it away to some people that, are maybe to some people that already bought my course. That's what I'm probably going to do. So I'd like to, have like, I would be content with like 100 people reading that this year, 100 people, that's it. And I'm going to release it in a few weeks. I'd be 100% content with that. My goal is closer to 500, and anything above that is like peaches and cherries in my mind. It's by book, I mean, it's going to be more of a booklet. It's going to be like 50 pages. I'm already kind of writing it. And that's a goal for me, a book. And I don't really know in terms of stocks, like I've been doing that for so long, like since I was 18, and I've been studying stocks since I was 14. I don't really have any stock goals. I mean, I just don't want to lose money, I guess, because I think that a recession's coming soon. I just don't want to lose money on stocks. So I guess don't lose money. Don't lose on stocks is my goal. What are your goals, by the way? I think that also, like, I've been partially in on some real estate investment stuff, but I think that by the end of 2017, I want to like be in serious talks for buying a property, like all on my own, all me. So I want an investment property, at least to start. I don't have to have one because it's tough. Sorry, I'm going to talk about this in a different video, but you know how fucking tough it is to get people to loan you money when you're 23, even if you're making good money? You know how shitty that? I don't want to go into this story. We're going to make a whole separate video on this about ageism in business. But one thing, I was making some good money, and then this freaking bank lady starts talking down to me. I was like, lady, I'm probably going to make more money than you this year. I didn't say that to her. I was trying to be polite because I was trying to get some money at her. But yeah, what other goals what are your goals, by the way? I actually like to hear, seriously, like send me an email, jack@chapplerei.com, or send me a Facebook message. It doesn't have to be a question. Like, send me what are your goals and how I can help you guys. Like, I don't want to sell you stuff. Like, that's not me. If I could physically like help you, kind of, because most of you that send me emails are between the ages of 16 and 22 and 23. I've had people up to like 35 and 40 send me emails, but seriously, like, if there's anything I can do to help you guys, especially in 2017, just send me emails, questions, whatever. I may not give you, like, there's certain things I won't do. I won't give you guys like tons of shout outs or anything on social media, but if there's any sort of advice I could give you guys, like, as of right now, I'm not charging like $100 an hour to be a life coach because I don't really like that at this very second. I probably will eventually because one other thing. So I'm so sorry to all of you that send emails and messages to me. If I don't answer them for like 4 days, I get like 120, like 5 days or whatever I took off last time, six days. And it is so tough to get through. I love all these messages. They give me ideas and they're like, I'm trying to help you guys too. Like stuff that I wish someone had told me what to do in certain situations. Like someone asked me recently on a recent message, I think it was an email actually, was that like they're from Waterloo, which is where I went to school. And then they had like X amount of debt in OSAP. There was like 1,500. And then they had like 1,200 like in the bank. And then what should they do? Should they pay off OSAP? OSAP's a student loan, by the way. Like, what should they do? Should they pay that off? Should they invest it? But all this kind of stuff, right? And like, I wrote out like 5 paragraphs. So that's just kind of, I like responding to you guys, and it really means a lot to me that you guys kind of like look up to me, because I went through some shit in order to know the stuff that I do now. I mean, when everyone was partying in university and when everyone was having all those going to bars and all that stuff, you know what I was doing? I was reading and looking up information and researching stocks and learning about real estate and getting my license. I did that in school, right? You know how many parties I went to in my real estate career? In terms of parties that were like my friends, I had to go to some girlfriend parties, ex-girlfriend parties back in the day. She was my girlfriend back then, but she's my ex now. Like, I went to probably like 8 of those over like 3 years. But you know how many I went to that were my friends? 0. I went on one vacation when I thought I was dying and stuff, but that's another story. I had to go through so much stuff and so much shit, and I worked so hard, and it's kind of like, I want to share that with you guys so that you guys don't have to go through the shit that I went through. Like, the amount of times when it'd be like 2 a.m. and I'm looking up some random fact on mortgages. I remember doing that before an exam too. I was supposed to be studying for an exam one night, and the exam was the next afternoon, and somehow I ended up researching mortgages for like 2 hours. It was great. Good times, man, good times. I learned so much. I have my most productive hours between midnight and 5 a.m. I have come to realize that. And that's why I like being self-employed, is that I can work from 12 to 5 a.m. and no one can say shit because I'm my own boss. And look, it is currently actually 10:30 at night right now, and I'm making this video, which is kind of funny. Oh, God damn it. It's cool. This is a really personal video, I guess. It's going to be a long one too. I normally don't go on these personal rants, but it's kind of nice that I have somewhere to share my stories, and then you guys can take something from them. Like, for example, if I could go back in time, I don't know if I would have gone to university. Maybe I should have gone to university. That's a whole different story, I guess. But I went through a lot of shit, guys, and I'm just glad that I could help you guys out. And if there's anything I can do, just shoot me a message. And if you want to hear a story of mine, seriously, send a request. If you want to hear like what happened in second year university, what program I was in, a funny story is that here's how obsessed with business I am. I'm going to share this story and I'm going to close it out. Okay, here's how obsessed I was with becoming an entrepreneur. And here's what I think that you guys have to be, or don't have to be, but you should be, if you want to become an entrepreneur and go to school. So I started setting up my own, business stuff, started making a passive income in second year university, second or third year. And I was doing okay. And then the business kind of started growing and growing and growing. And I got into real estate and all that. And fourth year came around, and I was by far putting in more hours into business than I was into school. I was, now luckily, I do like to, this is a kind of a humble brag, I guess. Like, I have had my IQ measured a bunch of times. It's pretty much 150, which is great. I'm very lucky, and also kind of, I studied a bunch as a kid. That's a whole different story. But so in university, I was one of those kids where I literally, without exaggerating, I could learn an entire semester's worth of stuff in I would say a night, but realistically about 12 hours. So I wouldn't go to class. I would start learning how to market my own stuff in business and real estate and all that. And then I would show up whenever something had to be handed in, or something was marked, or a test, or exam. That's it. That's all I went to school for. And so I did that for all my exams. And what's kind of funny is that in my program, you had to have a C+ to, or C or C+ to advance. If you got below a C, I think, below a 65, then you got kicked out of the program. It was an honors course, and it was health science. It was for all the doctors and dentists and, people. Some went to go on to law school. They did a bar exam. And, optometrists and all that stuff. All the people with good, stable jobs. So, anyways, I wrote all my exams, and there was one Like, I've always been able to predict my mark to within like 5% after writing an exam. So I knew when I would get a 90%, I knew when I would get an 80, 70, 60. Okay, I wrote one of my exams and I knew I fucking failed it. I knew it. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go to summer school. I'm supposed to graduate. So then that was in April, late April, and they give you your mark usually within a week after you write your exam. So I was so busy with business, I didn't know I graduated. I got an email in like, I think it was late May. It was like May 27th or something. And it was an email like, congratulations, you need to rent a robe for tomorrow. I was like, what? Our graduation, no, it was like they gave me 4 or 5 days in advance. I got an email pretty much saying I graduated because I didn't fucking check. I was too busy. I was too excited about my business stuff. I didn't really fucking care about a piece. I haven't even picked up my diploma. I have not picked up my diploma yet. And I've been graduated for almost a year now. So that's just kind of a funny story about what happened last year. I'm glad to share it with you guys. This is a good therapy session, and I hope that you guys can. What I'm pretty much trying to say is that if you're obsessed with business, the pieces of paper, school, and a lot of other things in life won't matter. And if you're obsessed, you will do just fine. You're gonna have to trust me on this. As long as you're obsessed in the right way, you'll be fine. So I'm gonna wrap that up. Those are my goals for 2017 and a quick story about 2016. I hope that you guys have a good 2017 and send me your goals. Send me emails and messages about how I can help you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video.